Greetings, Battle Brothers. It's me, Aurelia, Tempris, Defender of the Golden Throne and Servant of Humanity. Holy cow, you guys are doing all of your resubs on Twitch, and Roselgi, thank you for the 10 gifted. I'm just gonna read everyone out here. Sad Bear, Dino Fan, Captain Rex, Shadow, thank you for gifting a sub as well. Radio Inc. Sorry, my bad. Alexander, thank you guys so much for resubscribing. Thank you guys. It's been weeks, but it feels like ages. I know, it really does. I want to thank you all, A, for being here on short notice, and B, for being so patient. I have been very busy, but part of the busyness has been prepping for the debut, which is coming up very soon. I'll tell you when it is, but the time, I'll let you guys know this week. Alright, are you ready? Are you ready? February 3rd, which means 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The model I've been telling you guys about, you get to see it very soon, and I have so many other surprises. Not like in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks. Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah, we're doing it on a Tuesday. And Adam, thank you so much for subscribing on the, well, becoming a member on the YouTube side. That's the 3rd day of February, if anyone that doesn't know. But yes, I'm very excited. I'll have some stuff promoting it, and I'll get that out to you guys very, very soon. But I am very excited, and I'm so happy to see you guys. It's been a bit, and part of me is a little stressed out trying to get all the debut stuff prepped, but when I was sitting here while everything was loading, I was like, man, I really miss this. I really miss this. So yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm excited that you guys all get to be here, and we will watch Gav and Bob. Then it's your anniversary of streaming in February as well. Yes, that is true. And Dino Fan, by the way, thank you for the Taco Bell gift cards. I keep meaning to post that in the Discord server, but I keep forgetting. So I'm just gonna thank you directly here and now. Is this the Hell's Reach reaction? Oh gosh. Yeah, I definitely needed a lot of tissues. Yeah. Oh, Shadow, thank you for gifting a sub to Froggy. But yeah, missed you guys. It was great. Did you find her your love? Oh gosh. Don't even get me started. Hell's Reach, it broke my heart. I think it broke everyone's heart. Yeah, that was... I cried so much. If you've seen the VOD, you know, I sobbed, I bawled. But, yeah. But I hope everyone has been doing well. Oh, and thank you for the bits, Dino Fan. You were gone. Yeah, I've been very busy, unfortunately, and part of it has also, like, while I've been busy, I've also been like, well, I need to prep for the debut. So I kind of lumped it all together. So like I could have been streaming, but I was more focused on making sure the debut goes smoothly. Oh my gosh, Shadow, thank you guys. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Guys, we have a very exciting debut coming up. You should save your stuff for then. You should save your stuff for then. If you want, I guess I can't tell you what to do. But yeah, it's good to see everyone. It's good to be back, and there's a lot to talk about. Oh my gosh, Lore Master of Sotek raiding in on the YouTube side. Welcome, hi, hello raiders. Glad to hear from you. And on the Twitch side, hi guys, welcome in. It's so great to hear from you. Oh my goodness. Sotek, we've got to set up something. I know I said I was free in mid-January, so we should finally do something. Thank you so much for the raid. What were you guys doing? Please follow Lore Master of Sotek. He is an absolute expert. I think I could comfortably say that. Expert on Warhammer Fantasy. And It's been 18 months? How's it been that long? Oh my gosh, how has it been that long? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't think about that. There's no way. There's no way. Dude, okay, we gotta play more. We're doing a Malagor challenge campaign. Oh, hang on. I don't know what a Malagor is. I have all caps on. Oh, it's a beastman. Ooh. Are you guys spamming the skitter emote because you know Sotek is disconcerted by it? We were talking about handfuls and gaggles of... Oh, gosh, you're gonna make me say words. Jabberslice and cockatrices. Wait, you're doing Beastman stuff. Were you playing with Stim? Were you hanging out with Stim? She loves the Beastman. I don't get it, but it's okay. It's okay. And Rose, thank you for gifting us up to Bard. She raided, but we were solo smashing. Well, then I bet she was very happy to hear about the Beastman. But we need to set up something. It's been here. I'm just gonna message you so it's at the top of my message tree. We gotta set something up again. It's been a while, and I've actually kind of been thinking about. I'm like, man, I want to play Total War again, but I don't want to play by myself. Not yet. Oh, Sotek, you just missed it. I just told them that I am debuting my new model in 2 weeks. Exactly, February 3rd. So, yeah. There's that. So now you know when that's happened too. There we go. Yeah, yeah, so soon. I've been working on this. It's almost been a whole year now. Well, actually more than that, because the artists that I wanted, I was on a waiting list for a couple months before I got to them. Your 40K versus Star Wars reaction play is a lot of fun to listen to, and it's made my day, a day of welding, fabricating much more bearable. Oh, thank you so much, Homie Data. I'm so glad you like it. I wish those videos were shorter, then they'd be a lot easier to react to, unfortunately. 2 days before my birthday, all you shouldn't have. What a lovely gift. Okay, well, I'm gonna write that down, that that's when your birthday is. I try to keep friends' birthdays in my calendar because I can't keep them all straight. Okay. It's going in my calendar. There. Save. Done. So what is Gav and Bob? Okay, so Gav and Bob is a Warhammer, it's a fan series written by this guy, and it's about an Ogren, essentially. So if you haven't seen Gav and Bob, there's like 4 or 5 other videos you should watch prior to this one. This is the most recent one that came out. Shout out to the guy. There was one person, it was like a couple weeks ago, they brought it up in one of the comments that there was a new Gav and Bob episode. And I was like, oh, well, I need to watch that. So shout out to that guy. I don't know your name off the top of my head. And Jay, thank you for the 14 months. There's like 7? Really? There's that many now? Wow. There's a lot. So you should watch those first. But they're really good. Prepare to cry. Try not to cry. Cry a lot. Long videos where the boss won't catch me on the phone are actually perfect for me, so no complaints. Well, there you go. I haven't reacted to them in a long time. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Too Bright, for... Here, I'm gonna copy the playlist over... There you go. I copied the playlist over to the YouTube side, so both Twitch and YouTube have the playlist. That was very thoughtful. Thank you, Too Bright. But yeah, so are we gonna talk about the elephant in the room? Because there's an elephant, and it's pretty big. And What elephant? My ears? We've already been over this. We've been over this. It's your new model plastic or resin. Okay, but that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Let's see. I would say current model is resin. The new one is plastic. No new news. Okay. Mods, will lighten up on this conversation, so, you know, don't go crazy. Yes, Sad Bear, we have new banana models and also other model reveals, which I didn't even get to look at all of them. My feed has been all of one reveal. So, okay, I will allow this. How do we feel about how the models look? Let's talk about it. We got to get it out of our system. So let's chat. What do we think? What do we think? I want to hear people's opinions, because I will, full disclosure, I made a Twitter post about it and I was busy when everything got posted. So I was looking purely at the helmet and the chest, and after I posted the picture, I was like, oh shoot, there's nothing on the legs. So I looked like an absolute idiot. I was like, look at the detail. And then everyone's like, what are you talking about? There's nothing on the legs. And I was like, oh no, I screwed that up. And so I was like, well, yep. Very excited for a plastic dreadnought. Yes, I will be getting that. You guys, you know how I said I was gonna wait because I have one more subathon goal that I haven't completed, which was Big Mini. I was waiting because I thought they would release a plastic dreadnought for the Custodes, so I'm going to get that. So I didn't get the resin one because I was like, no, I want the plastic one. When are the models going to be on the throne page? We'll see. I mean, if I was going to, like, I would probably kit bash them, if I'm being honest, but I already built all of the Custodes that I do have. So, yeah. Also the triggers on the spears. But I thought I saw something that the current, wait, hang on, they're right here. Let me go look at them. 1 second. Okay, sorry, I was grabbing my current Custodes models. There's not, unless, are they covering it? I was looking to see if there were triggers on these models. Wait, am I looking? Because that, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I see them. I see them. I was looking and I was like, yeah, okay, they do have triggers. I heard someone say that one of the models didn't, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting if true. Yeah, I do like the helmets. I think the helmets are cool. They are very cone-like, but they also kind of make me think of like Abaddon. It's very much like a top knot vibe, and I don't know if that's my favorite. That's just a personal, like, I just like regular plume, but I do like the style of the helmet. Yeah, I mean, you could say, I mean, okay, so K2, I would agree with you that the lack of triggers can mean that there are pressure triggers or mind links. If, let's say, if GW led with that and they said, yeah, we decided that this would be really cool, or there was something like in the lore about it, that would be cool. But it does seem like it was a little rushed, in my opinion. Like, if they had led with that, I'd be like, I agree with you, but it just kind of seems like it was a little half-baked. It's a little too half-baked, but whatever. It's a small detail, but I mean, since, okay, let's put it this way. Since when has GW, like, ever gotten something like completely right. Yeah, if they had said something, it would have been received better, but I do think a lot of people would have been like, oh, well, you're just saying that to cover your butt. It's hard to please everyone. I kind of like, so I understand like their struggle when it comes to like that, but it is a bit of a fumble. Because they basically made the fans come up with a reason why there were no triggers. So, how do you explain the legs? You can't explain the legs. Honestly, after I looked at the legs, it made me think of the Inquisitor model that they came out with like a year and a half ago. Not great. I feel like they're the type of minis that look better in person. It's possible. It's possible. I still think the legs just look very, they don't look quite right. But I think a good kit bash might make it nice. Like you do old model legs, current model torso. Or like the newest one. I'm gonna say maybe it's not current, but newest. GW always gets something wrong first, in my opinion. Takes them a few tries to get it right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do say it does look kind of like Stormcast, so I kind of agree. I mean, they're not terrible. It is nice to see them. But I will say I kind of... If I was going to pick between the two, I would stick with the current models. If I'm being honest, there's a lot of details that I like on the most recent release, but frankly, I think I like the old ones better. Yes, Cadia stands. One time someone told me Abaddon's hair is just an upside down broom and now I can't unsee it. Yep, that's accurate. I agree, 100%. Oh. The thing that gets me is that they showed a new shield captain which looks good, and we just had a shield captain with the spear and the shield. Oh. Overall thoughts, not bad in terms of design. So, Gamer, thank you so much for the 18 months. I mean, for the 20 months, my bad. I can't read. I'm back with the Grox milk. Don't worry, I have returned. Wait, do Grox actually, like, make milk? Because they're like the 40K cows, but can you milk them? Because they're kind of like lizard things. Can you milk them? Yeah, I was gonna say, they're lizards. You can't... I mean, maybe you could milk a lizard if you tried hard enough, but I don't think lizards have mammary glands. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. You can... Yeah, you can milk mammals, and that's about it. I was disappointed by the faces of the new models. They look a bit ugly. Yeah. Yeah, they don't look good. the faces I don't like. But to be fair, I never use the faces. If it can be helped, I put a helmet. It's the equivalent of a paper bag. So yeah, I just don't like. I never like the faces. But so that's why I stick with helmets. They just look better. And honestly, they're not space wolves. Like, Custodes know that they need to wear helmets in battle. Like, the space wolves are like, I don't need it. I see things better with my straight eyeballs instead of with lenses. So honestly, the Custodes don't make that mistake. Even though there's a good chance they could see better, depending on the technology, but still. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to keep an eye on the time, because we do need to do Gav and Bob. Oh wow, it's almost been like 30 minutes. Red Scared, thank you so much for the 5 months of support. I need to be able to smell the enemy, space wolves probably. I think they don't want to admit that they want the blood to splash on their face a little bit, so they can be like, they can go really feral. Yes, there is, this is your first stream? Oh, well, welcome in. It's great to have you. We are just chatting about some of the releases. Honestly, I saw that there were other things Is it bad that the only other thing that I really know that got released was Eldar? But, like, I didn't even look at it. I haven't even looked at them yet. It's just like, there's releases, and there's something Eldar, something Eldar. Nothing for Grey Knights. Yeah, that's pretty much all I know. And for the Custodes, I will not be getting... Maybe not right now, but I'm not getting the hot dog mobile. It is an affront. Custodes deserve better designed tanks, in my opinion. It can hover, but that design looks dumb. It looks dumb. I don't like it. It would look less like a hot dog mobile in the colors I use, which is the gold and the purple, but I just can't. No. I can't. Yeah, I don't care. It still looks bad. I don't care that it's plastic. Like, yeah, it's better because it's plastic over the resin, but like, really? Like, I don't know. No, actually, that is not true. Not, I don't know. I do know. I do know. I prefer plastic, and I prefer a good old classic looking tank. Give me a good looking turret, give me treads, although I will accept one of the hovering variety, but it has to be the right shape. It needs to be a box. It needs to be square-ish. That one is not a square. No, big boy sausage mobile. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Ellybot, thank you so much for resubscribing. Thank you. It's hip to be square. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge, like, history nerd, so when it comes to, like, the World War, so, like, if you ask me, Aurelia, what's this tank? And I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, but I love the shape. I like the shape. So, it just... classic, like, human era, like, regular, what are we gonna call it, second millennium, and, like, a bit into the first millennium tanks. Great. 10 out of 10. Custodes tanks are fancy and clean because the Emperor wants his bodyguard to be cooler. It just doesn't make them look cool. Just doesn't. Corvus, thank you for the 2 months of support. I live not too far from the British Tank Museum, and it's awesome. Oh man, I would love to go. I'd love to go. Man, that would be so cool. I haven't actually looked up to see if there's, like, similar museums in my area. I'd have to investigate. I've never looked into it. They let you ride in the tanks? Wait. Like, okay. They drive it around, not like you just get to sit in the tank. I need an answer. Like, they drive it around. Oh, that's awesome. I got to do that as a kid once. Okay. Short story, and then we're gonna do Gav and Bob because people will riot if I don't go to Gav and Bob here in a second. So one time there was this guy in my neighborhood. He, like, I don't know what he did. I have no clue what his day job was, but he had, like, military vehicles parked on his driveway. He had a tank. I have no clue what it was because I was a small tot. I had no clue. I wasn't a toddler, but I was young enough where I had no idea. But it was really cool because it just sat there on his driveway. And then one time he had a party, and, like, my family was invited. It was like a block party, kind of. And he was like, hey, let's drive around in the tank. And so he got a bunch of adults and a bunch of kids, and we all got in the tank. It didn't have the what was it? Maybe it wasn't a tank. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was something artillery, because it didn't have a top on it, but my brain is like, I think I'm just filling in blanks. I think it didn't have a top on it, so it could have been an artillery vehicle. And we drove around, like, we drove around into the neighborhood, and then there was like there was a field, like a dirt area nearby, and so we drove in that. It was awesome. Yeah, it was great. I don't think they would just let you own a tank. No, he had like all the paperwork and stuff for it, and then he had like a transport vehicle. I don't know what that was either, but it was so cool. Like, you couldn't fire the guns. There was like, you couldn't fire it. It was pretty cool. So if I got to ride in a tank again, yeah. It is legal to own a tank in the USA. Amazing. Look at us. The best country. Specifically for that reason. You get to own a tank. The right to bear arms. Incredible. Wait, what? Why? Because why not? Why not? Yeah, the gun is deactivated. And it's a shame. He moved away, and I remember we met up with them like several years later, but like since then, like I don't think my parents kept in contact, so I have no clue like what he actually owned. Happy New Year, Vero. So yeah, there you go. So that's my story. Got to ride around in some military vehicle, because now I'm second guessing it being a tank, because there was no roof. Yeah, I can't even get even close to guessing, because I was pretty young. There's a private museum owned by a guy not far from where I am, and the guy owns a Sherman tank and an M5 Stuart. Well, let me look up one of those. Wait, M5, you mean M3? Google pulls up an M... Oh wait, no, there's the M5. Why did it pull up the M3 first? That's kind of lame. I don't know enough. It's not a tank. It's some sort of artillery vehicle. Okay. Should we go ahead and watch Gav and Bob? Have I kept you guys long enough? I thought the tank story was entertaining. Was it fully tracked? I think so. I think so. It's really hard to say. Like, I was like, I don't even think I was like, I don't even think I was 12 when I rode around in it. I don't remember when, but I was pretty young. Look up the priest. Oh. Wait a sec. Can I get a picture of the inside? Oh my gosh, that might be it. Hang on, sorry. My tracking stopped because I'm looking at my other screen. I want a picture of the top. Wait. Oh. That could be it. It had a gun on it. I don't know if it had a turret. There was a gun. Okay, well, let me save this and I'll show you guys what it might have been. Came for Ogrins, got Imperial Guard, not disappointed. Look, I don't know enough about, like, tanks and stuff and other vehicles. Okay, hang on. I'm pulling the picture up. Okay. This is what it might be. I think it might be this. Someone recommended this on YouTube. Keith. Thank you, Keith. Big gun, maybe, I don't know. Like, you're asking me to tap into, like, a memory from, like, over a decade ago? That might be it. There was definitely tracks, like, and it had treads because it left marks in his driveway. And it had an open back, which this one does. Like, you can't really tell in the picture, but there's like a thing in the back. Here, let me pull up another picture. You can kind of see where you can get in the back. No, not the dumb web files. I hate that. Okay, the picture I want to show you is just going to be a pain for me to try and pull it up. But that's probably what it was. That tracks. Her. You're so funny. Okay, we'll do Gav and Bob. If it was an open top, it was either a priest, an M10 Wolverine, or a Hellcat. Let me look up Hellcat. Not a Hellcat. Or is it? If I saw like, if I could see the bed in the back, then, like, that would be... I don't think it was a Hellcat. And then M10 Wolverine. I don't know. No, I think it's the priest. Looking at the back, the open back. Yeah, no, it didn't have a chart. I think it's the priest. I think you guys nailed it. Look at you guys, so knowledgeable. Could be an APC if you don't remember Big Gun. Well, would they still have Big APC? Military. No. No, it had a gun. No, it definitely had a gun. Because I remember, like... Yeah, no, it definitely had a gun. Pretty cool if it was a priest. I have no idea. I don't even know how to contact this guy. I don't even know his last name. My dad might know his last name, but, like, it's not like I could contact him and be like, hey, by the way, I have some people that want to know what that thing was that I wrote in. You know, I was that neighbor kid from, like, 10 plus years ago. So, okay. Now, it took us 10 minutes to get there, but we're gonna go do Gav and Bob now. Okay. We have the Gav and Bob. So if you haven't seen Gav and Bob, it's a whole series. Very good series, by the way. This is by Vox and the Void. They're awesome. They're really nice. We did a Gav and Bob, like, marathon one time. And they were like, whoa, you're cool for doing that. So I appreciate them. And they do great work. We haven't watched their videos in a while, so... What if I ask him if he's trying to get rid of the priest? And if I can buy it? Look, here's the thing. That is a great way for me to get doxxed. Because it's one thing to, like, be anonymous on the internet. It's another thing to be like, this person has a tank in their driveway. Like, that is the most obvious thing ever. Oh, that is a cool fact. It's called a priest because the command spot looked like a pulpit. Okay, that's really cool. It's the USA, we have that. But this still, how many people can be like, oh yeah, I know a guy that had a tank in their driveway. Tell me, chat, how many of you have seen people with tanks in their driveway? I'm guessing none of you. Me? Okay, Shadow, one person. I see some for the sales estimate 80 to 150k. I mean euros. So I mean, it's more for the US dollars. Oh, apparently there's a couple people that are like that live near military bases and stuff. Oh, okay, fair enough, okay. Okay, so there's actually more people than I think, but still, if you guys knew what it was, you guys could figure out where I live. Which, no, wait, what do you mean? You already know where I live, in the Imperial Palace, you know. I don't leave here, I don't touch grass. That's not true. I try to touch grass. Okay, turning the background music off. Let me take a look here. Okay, that's off. We'll have to do the little testy test with the volume for this. So this is a Sanguinala episode that came out 2 weeks ago. Thought you live on Bao Secundus. I kind of work for the Emperor. So it's like, you know, I kind of gotta, I'm his bodyguard. I kind of gotta work where he is. He's my boss. Like stalkers care if you own a tank. Well, and I must say it's not like the gun works. It's not like I can discharge it. So, see, that would be really nice to, if it could, then I'd be like, goodbye, stalkers, boom. Exactly, what are you gonna do? Drive over them? Alright, okay. Enough of this tank talk. We've got Gav and Bob. I'm surprised there hasn't been a riot yet. Yes, I will hydrate. There you go. Okay, I've stretched and my posture is checked. No turret, just a sofa and a steering wheel. Wait, so here's the thing. What if I got the tank? And then instead, see, look, okay, this is better than living in a van by the river when you can own a tank and live by the river. Wouldn't that be great? My parents would definitely not be disappointed because a tank is totally different from living in a van. Okay, we're gonna test the volume really fast.
Screams filled the tunnel.
Did we like that? Was that good? How's the audio? Gave it a couple words. Did Twitch die? What the heck? Okay, I was like, everyone on Twitch was dead quiet. I was like, was it bad? Did I blow out their eardrums? Did they not hear me? I hope GW makes Gav canon. Legit chosen champion of the Emperor being an ogre would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. I really don't want them to, though, because then they can't write more Gav and Bob without being through, like, mountains of red tape. So, yeah. That's my only concern, that then it's now something that they can directly control, and that makes me uneasy. It's like the same reason that if GW reached out to be like, we would like you, like, not that they would do this, but like we would like you to be our sole VTuber that like promotes all of our stuff and gets more people into the hobby. Like, I would be very hesitant to do that sort of deal, because then they can control what I do and, like, to an extent, what I say. And that's not worth it to me. Depends on what they offer, but if I was offered something like that, I'd have to be like, look, as long as I'm fair and reasonable about criticism, like, I would like to be able to criticize you, but I need to be fair and reasonable. So, there, that's it. It's time. I'm gonna start it over. Gav and Bob.
Screams filled the tunnel, mingling with the discharge of autoguns and the blistering bark of las rifles. A great and terrible shadow tore through the warriors.
I love the
a
art, by the
flashing
way.
fang of steel in one hand and a snarling, growling chain axe in the other. Those who stood before him felt no fear, hissing their defiance until the end. They died braver than most traitors, but they died all the same. As Grenlis plunged his knife into the eye of one of the purple-skinned, ridge-headed abominations, something slammed into him hard enough to send him sprawling. He tucked his shoulder beneath him, snarling as alarms sounded in his helmet, the display showing him the damaged sections of armor and telling him the bone shelf of his ribs had been fractured.
Ooh.
Something the Space Wolf already knew. He rolled to his feet, facing a creature who stood eye to eye with him, even though his head was hunched down between huge shoulders. Two arms held the primitive power maul it had struck him with. The other two were outstretched toward him as the thing sought to come to grips. Grenlis didn't waste words on the thing. He charged and ducked at the last second, his axe cutting a swathe behind him, catching one of the Xenos creature's hand as it reached for him.
I was almost thinking it was Slanesh.
And some of the axe's teeth cracked against the thing's carapace, but it lost several of its clawed fingers in the bargain. Rather than retreat from the source of its hurt, though, the thing whirled, its hammer rushing through the air as Grenlis leaned back from it. Before he could attack again, though, the thing brought its claws to bear. The Astartes parried with his knife and then with his vambrace, tucking his chin as the Gene Stealer went for the eye lenses of his helmet.
Gene Stealer.
As fierce as the Space Wolf was.
I need to really study up on my Xenos. Like, considering how much I, like, you know, not supposed to like them. I do not know just by general descriptions. I'm like, I'm not sure what this is. I need a better picture of it. Yeah, Gene Stealer. Makes sense. I thought it was corn at first, so I was like, purple skin. So I was thinking maybe more Slanesh. Nope, it was Gene Stealer. I'm a fake fan. I don't know. I can't tell a Gene Stealer by the description.
And as fast as he was, he could make no inroads against this creature. His bolt pistol had been fired empty hours ago, and he had neither grenades nor mining charges to fling at the thing.
He's only fighting with his knife.
His knife had grown dull from the skulls he'd rammed it through, and even his faithful chain axe was slowing down as it lost more teeth. Still, he fought, determined that the Xenos monster would not have the satisfaction of being his doom. Grenlis saw an opening, and didn't realize until it was too late that he'd been caught in a feint. The creature threw aside its maul, gripping Grenlis's forearms in its claws. Before he could reverse his momentum, the thing's third arm shot forward, claws ripping into the weak spot beneath Grenlis's arm. His helmet display screeched a warning,
at least it wasn't his third leg.
And then white-hot pain erupted along his side as the thing stabbed past his protections and into his flesh. His armor shrieked, buckling along its seams, and Grenlis howled as he struggled to break free. As the creature drew back its arm to strike again, there was a blast of bright light, and the thing shrieked in agony. Its hand spasmodically shot open, dropping Grenlis. The Astartes gritted his teeth, bent his knees, and then shot back to his feet, driving his dagger up through the thing's jaw and into its brain pan.
Get it!
It jerked a few more times, and then slumped, its dead weight dragging Grenlis's blade out of his half-numbed fingers. A creature stood on the other side of the cavern. It had the rough form of a man, but was too tall, too poised, and too perfect. Even before Grenlis's eyes flicked over the runes on its armor, his nose raked in the scent of the being. His helmet's sophisticated air exchange system couldn't hide the stink of the creature.
Hey, at least
his lips drew back over his teeth.
At least he has his helmet on. I'm so proud of him.
And he shifted, facing the Eldar. Grenlis raised his chain axe, but the Eldar lowered his staff and held one empty hand up in a halting gesture.
Hold, Grenlis of the Volca Fenreka,
the Eldar said in a smooth, unaccented High Gothic.
I come to aid you, not to harm you.
And how does a
I like
pointy-eared
the
witch
voice.
come to know my name?
Grenlis growled. He could feel his body trying to repair the damage to his side, his blood clotting and his skin rapidly scarring over. He kept that arm down, half crouching as he regarded the Eldar. Despite the threat, there was a note of amusement in his voice. Out of the mutiny and into the sea, as his brother Sergeant had once said.
It was given to me by an ogrin named Gav Smith,
The Eldar said.
along with something he entrusted to my care
Yeah, that's
and
right.
bade me bring to you.
I love
Grenlis
this.
blinked and shook his head slowly.
What?
He'd been prepared for jibes and misdirections, or for more of the Eldar's devilry. But the sound of Gav's name in the Space Wolf's ears had the ring of truth. He lowered his weapon cautiously, sliding his finger off the activation rune. Not by much, but enough to show he was listening.
And what business do you have with Gav Smith?
Grenlis asked. His voice was quieter now, the amusement gone from it. Wounded or not, outmatched or not, there was a note of danger in the Space Marine's tone.
His fate is entangled with the powerful servant of she who thirsts,
The Eldar said.
That's why I thought it was
Thrice now
Slanesh
he
at
had sent
first.
it screaming back to the Sea of Souls, frustrating the plans of its master. It will return for him again, and as a show of good faith I offered him a gift, and this is what he asked of me.
The Eldar reached behind
This
him with
is
his free
very
hand,
straightforward,
and Grenlis
Eldar.
tensed. When the Eldar drew his hand forth from beneath his cape, though, he held an envelope in one hand. It was bent somewhat at the corners, but Grenlis could read his name on it, clear as day. Written in a blocky
Eldar
childish
delivery
scrawl.
system.
The Eldar held it out to him, and the Astartes found himself crossing the hard-packed dirt of the tunnel, taking the envelope almost in a daze. He opened it, his armored fingers showing dexterity impossible
He's
for
gonna
one
look
without
up
the
and the
black
Eldar is
carapace,
gone.
sliding the card out into his hand. He read it, then raised his eyes to the Eldar.
A Sanguinala card.
He asked, confusion warring with awe in his voice.
This is what he asked you to bring me.
A thoughtless insult, isn't it? A humiliation, even.
The Eldar shook his head slowly, looking up at the Astartes.
But such seemingly small pebbles are what may begin avalanches. For if Gav Smith had not asked me to find you, and I had not been here, then perhaps this creature would have been the death
Yeah,
of you.
I mean, it's
And
right.
if not that one, then others of its brood who still search these tunnels for you.
And what will you do?
Grenlis asked. He was close now, perhaps close enough that he could end the witch before he could react. But the Space Wolf
He already
stayed his
knows.
hand. Those born of Fenris understood honor and debts, and this would be a poor way to repay his.
And the Eldar already knows he's thinking of it. Like, Eldar, like, man, humans, they can't stop doing the war. They really suck because they're so primitive. So he already knows what he's thinking.
Even if no others would ever learn what had transpired here.
Will we face these monsters together, you and I? Slay the
Ha!
infestation ourselves?
No, he's leaving.
I think not.
The Eldar said, a note of wry amusement in his voice.
However, I can lead you to where the other Astartes are. At that point, we will part ways.
What?
Yours is merely the first of these I must deliver to fulfill my promise.
That's very
You know
cool
my
of him.
name, Eldar.
Grenlis said after a long moment, folding the card before stowing it in one of the empty ammunition pouches on his belt. He never took his eyes off the Xeno before him.
I would know yours.
The Eldar reached up with his empty hand and removed his helmet. The face beneath was one of breathtaking symmetry and perfect lines, unblemished by a single scar. That perfection seemed little more than a mask, though, as his dark, ageless eyes stared up at the Space Marine. Grenlis felt in that moment as if the Xeno could see through his helmet and into his eyes, perhaps even into his soul.
I am Elandresh Vathiel.
He said, his words ringing like poetry in the Space Marine's ears.
I am a Farseer of Craft World Ulthway.
Grenlis felt his mouth slowly drop open in surprise. He stared at the Eldar for a long, silent moment. Then laughter, deep, rolling and unbidden, rushed out of him. It started as a chuckle, but soon grew to a torrent that rang from the walls of the cavern. He laughed until his recently scarred side threatened to split, and he could taste blood on the back of his tongue.
That's a lot of
Grenlis
laughing.
turned away from the Eldar, shaking his head as he retrieved his knife, wrenching it out of the dead gene-stealer's skull with a wet sucking sound.
Lead on, if it please you,
Grenlis said, waving a hand at the Eldar.
As long as you keep your witchery to yourself, your back is safe from me.
I know, Ilandresh Vathiel said, sliding his helmet back over his head.
Of course he does.
It seemed to flow over his face, becoming one with his armor without anything so graceless as a click and a connector hiss.
Oh, that's cool.
He led the way down a side
Wraithbone
tunnel,
is cool.
one that
Because he's
tilted
probably
up.
wearing some form
As
of it.
Grenlis followed, he could hear the sounds of distant battle echoing along the shafts. Shouts, las discharge and bolter fire.
Gav the Demon Slayer, is it?
Grenlis said, letting out a breathless chuckle as
Indeed.
he reversed his grip on his knife.
Gav, friend of the Eldar. Now I've seen everything.
He's collecting titles.
Major Stolt stood in front of the holographic table, his hands clasped in the small of his back as he stared at the battle projections. A thick-bodied man in battered armor with his sleeves rolled up to show his scarred, muscular forearms. His dark hair was shot through with grey, and his eyes were as hard and sharp as a Kriegsman's bayonet. He looked over every gun emplacement, every deployment, and every piece of data displayed on the map in front of him, searching for anything he'd missed before now. Unfortunately, the grim picture painted in bright, clean projection lines didn't change. Militarum units from across the Imperium had been summoned to this backwater battlefield, and thanks to his experience fighting demons, experience which had earned him a promotion, his unit had been called up. Heretic cults had risen on this world, claiming the manufacturing facilities and denying much-needed resources to the Imperium, while giving those same resources to their foes. The Guard had been thrown into the grinder against the heretics and the twisted warp-born things they summoned. The dirt of this world churned to a sloppy mud that swallowed corpses by the thousands every single day.
Yeah, that's really rough because not only do you have to destroy your enemy, you don't want to destroy, you know, the resources, manufactorums, whatever it is. That makes it really, really, really rough because your enemies don't really care.
To being placed on a crux point in the trench line and told to hold that point with his veteran regiments, reinforced by abhuman auxiliaries. They'd done what they'd been ordered to, no matter what had come at them across no man's land. But now they were running low on everything: ammunition, food, and most importantly, their morale. Stolt reached up behind his ear and took out the glow stick he'd been saving there. It was his last one. He plugged it between his lips, fished his dented old lighter out of his pocket and flicked the spark wheel. If his estimation was right, they had another day before the line broke. 2 days at the most, unless something changed.
This war isn't as hopeless as you seem to think,
A voice from the shadows said.
Victory is right in front of you. You simply lack the ability to see it.
Stolt's bolt pistol was in his hand as he whirled towards the speaker. His knuckle was white around the trigger, and he could feel the weapon poised on the edge of firing. He also knew that he had 2 rounds left in the thing, and he couldn't afford to use them unless he was absolutely sure of his target. He saw someone standing in the shadows, but in the dimness of the bunker he couldn't make them out.
I dismissed all personnel,
Stolt said, removing his smoke with his free hand as he narrowed his eyes.
Who the hell are you and what are you doing here? I am a messenger on behalf of the Inquisition,
The voice said, a twist of dry amusement just under the surface.
Spooky.
A hand emerged into the light, holding an oversized envelope.
But I also
I wonder if he's just disguising himself. He's like, man, I know what they'll, you know, react well to, so I'm just gonna do my best to meet everyone where they're at.
So have information you need.
Stoltz's hand was steady as a rock as he pointed his weapon at the interloper. He took
Smart.
another puff of his coffin nail and frowned. Then he pointed at the command table.
Lay it there.
The shadowy figure stepped further into the room.
Don't mess with the Inquisition.
He was tall and rangy, the bulk of him covered in a thick cloak. He moved without sound, and with a smooth grace Stoltz found off-putting. He laid the envelope down as Stoltz indicated, but took one step closer. Stoltz took a step back, but the mysterious messenger paid no mind to either the Major or his weapon. Instead, his gloved fingers danced over the keys, shifting the view of the trench line the projector was displaying. The display now showed the far end of Stoltz's part of the trench, which was furthest from the enemy's forward position. The figure raised a hand and pointed a slender finger at designation E-73, a place that had been spewing demons for weeks.
Here,
He said, an undeniable smile in his voice.
muster your men and direct them at this position in 1 hour's time. Send the Gyrinx-shaped ones first, and then the Ogrins. Reinforce them with the Rattlings, and then flood the breach with the rest of your men, leaving a garrison here to hold the line. And why?
Stoltz said, his upper lip curling like a threatened street mongrel.
Should I do that?
The figure turned and looked down at Stoltz. The Major had stood against heretic cults who'd begged
He's
for his
really
blood,
going out of his way
driven
to
on by a
save all
madness
of
he could not
Gav's
hope
friends.
to understand. He had stared into the eyes of demons and heard the sound of their silent whispers clawing at the corners of his consciousness as they tried to pry open his mind. He had witnessed firsthand the power of a traitor Astartes as it had torn through men like they were tissue paper, leaving a wake of broken bodies behind him. Stoltz was as hardened as any commander who had survived the front lines
To
and seen
Sanguinella
the
Miracle.
horrors birthed in the darkest parts of this cruel, uncaring galaxy. Staring into what lurked beneath that hood put ice water in Stoltz's veins
Yeah.
and sent something deep in the buried reaches of his mind, scrabbling at his skull as it tried to tunnel its way out. The being had no face, or at least no face that Stoltz could see.
Oh.
A long, bone-white mask lurked beneath the hood, the mouth turned down into an exaggerated frown.
Oh, okay. I was like,
The eyes were empty
what? No face? It's because it's the mask. It's the mask. Okay, okay.
black holes, and despite the fact that Stoltz could see nothing behind them, he could feel the weight of the thing's gaze as it regarded him the way a man might regard a
Yeah,
small,
that's
harmless
incredibly
rodent.
unnerving. Holy
The edges
cow.
of the hood sat across a pair of perfectly curved horns that slid up from the mask's brow.
You should do it, because it will be the best chance you have of ending this conflict with a single hammer blow.
The masked figure said, and though the mask wore a frown, a smile bled into the voice behind it.
Because once I've killed the sentries and given you your opportunity, there will be no one to stop you.
Cocky Eldar.
And if you wait more than an hour, they will have time to complete their next ritual. If that happens, there will be nothing you or anyone else on your side of the battlefield will be able to do to stop them.
The cloaked figure pressed one more button on the console, and a timer flickered into life on the map projection.
Yeah, this guy is like oddly being helpful. It feels weird. And Sleepy, thank you so much. I'm glad you like the Hunter the Parenting videos. We'll watch more. I think I'm going to try to watch one this weekend. Like that last one. At least, I think it's the burger one that we're going to watch next. Don't worry. I'm ready to watch it. I'm very much looking forward to it. But thank you. I appreciate hearing that.
Numbers began counting down, the 1 hour mark flicking to 59 minutes, the seconds ticking down relentlessly. Stoltz flicked his eyes to the counter and back to the figure, but it was gone.
Yep.
Stoltz spun, his bolt pistol looking for a target, but he was alone in the command bunker once more. All he could hear was a vague whisper of laughter, and a swirl of color he was certain was an afterimage, or a product of his sleep-deprived brain. Stoltz flicked the safety back on his weapon before sliding it
You're
back
not
into
a
his
real
holster.
Eldar if you don't just
He took one more drag
disappear.
off the burning stub of his smoke and then picked up the envelope. It was bulky, worn around the edges and stained in some places. There was no wax seal, just a simple strip of glue and his name written in blocky letters. Stoltz ran his finger under the fold, tearing it, and slid out what was inside. He'd been expecting some sort of official communication from an Inquisitor, a set of marching orders that had to be hand-delivered by a member of the retinue. Even something as simple as the name and declaration of the Inquisitor in question, informing Stolt of the new scope of his responsibilities. But what he found was something even more important. It was perhaps the only thing that could have allayed the mistrust in his heart and curled the corners of his lips up into a smile. It was an expression that looked unfamiliar on the grizzled officer's face, but that didn't seem to bother him.
Gav, you son of a bitch,
Stolt said, the phrase compacted into a single word as he laughed
I like how...
and opened the garish red Sanguinala card to read the brief well-wishes inside of it. He was still chuckling as he swept his eyes over the map one last time. He nodded and picked up the handset of his Vox unit.
Jasper, Brutus, and Markley.
I feel like I would actually be like really unnerved. That it's like, yeah, this creepy guy showed up, told me where I should be, and you know, that's really cool of him. But then he like disappears and he has a card from my friend. I'd be really scared for my friend. I won't lie. And catch you later, Rose. Have a good day.
This is Stolt. Turn out the troops. I want them upright, dressed and armed in 15 minutes. Rendezvous with me at the bunker and I'll brief you when you get here.
Stolt waited for a long moment, listening for the grunts and grumbles confirming that his subordinate officers had heard him and were complying. His eyes fell on the card, and he laughed again, tossing his smoke onto the floor and grinding it out under his boot.
Happy Sanguinala, Gav,
he said, picking up his helmet and strapping it on. He made a note to send the Ogren a thank you card and a medal if he made it through the night.
I think you will. Yeah, I still wouldn't trust it personally.
The sun was going down over the ocean, the last rays of deep bloody red painting the waters before they were swallowed by the waves. The last echoes had died from the firing range, and the clash of blades was just a memory of the day gone past. As darkness fell, the night lumens flickered into life along the compound of Sanctorum Verdis. The choir was practicing their evening hymns, and shadows were cast along the walls as the sisters all found ways to spend what little time they were given for themselves. Faith had wanted to be alone. The Ogren was sitting on the hard dirt of the practice yard, her head resting on the low wall that ran in a wide oval around it, while she stared up at the sky and watched the stars come out. One by one they winked into existence in the black canvas above, only a few of them hidden by scudding clouds. Faith reached into the bowl in her lap and plucked something out of it. She tossed it into her mouth and crunched down on the deep-fried potato skin.
Oh man,
it was
that sounds
oily,
good.
Salty, and it tasted like an emotion Faith didn't have words for. She ate another one, but found it hard to swallow.
I couldn't save any for you, Gav, but I'll ask Sister Aurora to make some fresh when you come visit.
Faith took a deep breath,
She misses him.
letting it fill her chest and belly with air. She held it for a moment and then let it out. It was something she'd been taught when she was first allowed to pick up a sword as a way to calm herself. She didn't know why she'd need that, because usually if you have a sword in your hand, you don't want to be calm. But Triana had told her to do it time and time again until Faith remembered it. She was glad she had, because when she breathed properly, the feeling squeezing her heart was a little less tight. The pain in her belly also receded to the point where she didn't notice it much anymore.
Oh.
She'd been coming out here every night for the past month or so, and just
that's
staring
so
up at the sky.
sweet.
Sometimes she talked to the stars,
Oh,
telling them what
girly.
had happened that day. She talked about how Sister Rana had a tattoo now, and about how hard she was training. She talked about how a man in a big coat with a mean look on his face, who had the same necklace with a skull and a big letter I behind it, had come to talk to Triana a few months after Gav had left. Faith didn't understand what he said. He was talking like Triana did when she said the prayers before dinner, but the man had stomped off afterward. Triana had doubled the night guard after that, and insisted that Faith stay nearby.
Interesting.
Nothing had happened though, and eventually things went back to normal.
I miss you.
Faith said to the sky.
I hope you miss me too.
Oh.
You may be seeing Gav sooner than you expect to, Faith,
a voice said. Faith leapt to her feet, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She reached for her sword on reflex. But
I want to know how quickly he gets all of these delivered. Like, is this like within a month? Is this a couple days? Like, I'm just so curious.
The blade wasn't there. She'd locked it back in the armory when she'd finished training with it. She whirled, her eyes wide, nostrils flaring as she looked for who had spoken. Between one breath and another, she saw a cloaked figure with a staff in one hand, and his other arm tucked up close to his side. Weapon was the word that entered Faith's head, her mind barking it in the voice of the Canoness Confessor who had honed her fighting instincts to a sharp edge. Faith hurled the heavy steel mixing bowl she'd been eating out of at the figure. The metal had barely left her fingers, though, when he moved, his hand shooting out to catch the bowl like they were playing some kind of game. Something fluttered out from under his cloak, but Faith wasn't thinking about that. She rushed forward,
yeah, you gotta keep an eye on your
back in a
opponent.
snarl and her arm cocked back. The punch she threw hit nothing but air, though, and she stumbled.
Please,
the figure repeated, his voice a little tighter now.
Same-day delivery,
I bring you a gift. From Gav.
Faith blinked, staring up at the stars. They were out of focus, and she was beginning to wonder if she'd hit her head on a rock. She had to be hearing things. She'd never seen whoever this was before, and she'd never heard his voice either. But here he was, talking like he knew her, like he knew Gav. A breeze blew across Faith's face, and her vision snapped into clear focus. The man in the cloak was standing just out of her reach, and holding something out to her. It was wide and thin, the edges crumpled, and the paper dirty from where it had fallen on the ground. Faith blinked and frowned at it.
What's that?
Faith demanded, her voice slurring slightly.
Gav called it a sanguinala card,
the cloaked figure said.
You're a bit late,
Faith said.
Okay.
She sat up slowly,
How late?
pressing one hand to her head. She could feel a goose egg forming on the back of her skull. She pressed her fingers harder against her head, but nothing shifted beneath her grip. When she pulled her hand away, she saw there wasn't even any blood. She reached out and took the envelope, frowning at it.
The Inquisitor who was here earlier was causing problems for me,
the man said.
He doesn't want me to finish this task. I had to wait for his measures to falter before I could safely come to give this to you.
Faith nodded.
Oh, so it's been 3 months to at least get this one.
She dug her finger under the flap and opened up the envelope. She was careful, pulling the card out and looking at it. It was red, with pretty decorations on it. She touched her tongue to her lips, and as she ran her fingers over the embossed shapes, she felt tears in her eyes, and in her nose. She opened the card. A pair of tears spilled over her lashes, running down her face. She sniffled.
Would you like me to leave you?
The man in the cloak asked. Faith turned and looked at him. He was tall enough that Faith had to look up at him from where she was sitting. That made him taller than any of the sisters, out of their armor at least. Faith wiped her nose and her forearm and held the card up in one hand.
Could you read it to me?
Faith asked.
Oh.
She seemed embarrassed and hopeful all at once.
I could ask Triana, but it's late, and she's probably asleep.
I forgot.
And she'll want to know where I got it.
Tears were running freely down Faith's cheeks now, dripping off her chin. The cloaked figure simply nodded and took the card. Faith shifted to face him, her hands resting on her knees.
Let's hope he didn't say anything
awkward. In less
awkward.
than a minute, she'd gone from a rampaging giant to a child eager to be read a story.
It's okay, girlie.
Dear Faith,
the figure said, reading in a calm, clear voice.
I hope you're doing well. I'm not allowed to tell you about the things I'm doing with Treela, but I'm still alive and still fighting. I think about you a lot. I hope I can see you again soon and that you didn't forget me. I don't know when you're getting this, but it's probably late. I'm sorry about that. Love, Gav.
Yay!
The
That's
cloaked
so
figure
cute.
offered Faith the card back. She took it carefully and then offered her other hand to him. The figure hesitated and then reached out and pressed his palm against Faith's. There was a spark on the air, and for just a moment she saw his perfect cheekbones, strong chin, and wide dark eyes. He gasped, and even though Faith couldn't see his eyes anymore, she knew he was staring into her face.
You are pregnant.
The Farseer.
No way! No way! Oh my gosh! Bro! Congrats, girly! That's amazing! Oh my gosh. I forgot that they hinted at it. I forgot. Like, Either world, thank you so much for the... Oh my gosh, what the heck? So wait, hang on. Were they hinting at it with her eating? Or was it, Oh, I'm so sorry about the ad, guys. I'm so sorry about the ad. I had no idea that it was going on at the same time. I gotta set something up for that. So wait, were they hinting at it because she was eating? Or is it they hint at it last time? It's been such a long time since I watched the last Gav and Bob. It was like pretty much last year. Might have even been in 2023. Is Gav the dad? Be for real. Yes, he is the dad. I don't think she got with anyone else. When they mentioned stomach, that there was like a feeling in her stomach. Interesting. Shoot. Because I assumed they had like referenced it earlier in a previous episode. A pain in her belly that receded. Interesting. Congrats, girl. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Silent Ghost, thank you for the 5 months of support. Man, great news. That's lovely, honey. We'll go back a second.
You are pregnant.
The Farseer said. Faith snorted a laugh and wiped her cheeks with her palms.
Of course I am.
Faith said,
Of course.
rubbing at her belly. Then, very gently, as if she were explaining something to a child, she added,
We tried very hard, Gav and me.
Have you told him?
Okay, I needed all that. I didn't need to know that one. I don't want to think about that.
Yet?
the Farseer asked. Then, before Faith could answer, he answered his own question.
No, of course not. How would you get a message to him?
Are you going to see him soon?
Faith asked.
Would you tell him for me, please?
This time the Farseer patted Faith's hand, giving one of the Ogren's huge fingers a squeeze.
I will.
Wow, homie.
You have my word.
Homie. But I feel like, okay, let's be honest. I totally get this one because I feel like for Eldar, they're like a dying race. And from like the research that I've done, it's really hard for Eldar to have kids. Like, they live a long time, but they're kind of fragile as a species. So it's difficult for them to have children and for them to, like, you know, keep living. You know, I feel like that's just kind of how they are. So I feel like in this case, he's like, yeah, I can totally, like, the life is like really sacred and precious to them. So I think he's like, yeah, this is not something I agreed to, but frankly, I understand and I would want the same. Yeah, kids are kind of sacred. Yeah, no, it's a huge deal. Huge deal. So I've never been so pro Eldar in my life. Fair. That's honestly perfectly fair. Part of their lore and fantasy is that one of their gods is banned from seeing her kids. Oh, that's terrible. I hate that. I hate that for them. Anyways, I think that's very cool of him to be like, you know what? Yes, I will tell him. Because I think he'd want that as well. Man.
A servitor walked the halls of the Medicaid facility, attending to its duties. The only sounds it made were the hiss of locomotion pistons and the soft counterpoint of ragged breathing as it sucked in air and blew out depleted carbon dioxide. Its hair hung lank from its scalp, and the scars along its limbs were a pale pink, long healed over from the installation process. Its eyes were cloudy, barely able to see, but it followed its simple programming. It shuffled from room to room, carrying linens, cleaning messes, and smiling in patience. Or at least it tried to smile. Its cracked lips and damaged teeth had been deemed aesthetic damage, and not important enough to warrant repair by the resident tech adepts who serviced the labor force at the facility.
That's so sad.
The servitor hefted a heavy canvas bag of blood and bile-stained linens, transporting them to the chutes that led to the laundry below. As it strained, something inside it whined, and a red warning sigil lit up in its internal display. Damage had been done to one of the main cable lines that ran through the shoulder joint and into the fiber bundles of the arm. Streams of data ran along the display, recording every moment of pain that flashed through the cyborg system. The servitor paused before opening the laundry chute door with its good arm. It spread its legs, bent and gripped the bundle. It straightened explosively, machinery whirring and muscles flexing as it hoisted the bag, flinging it into the chute. It slammed into the back wall of the metal throat, tumbling down violently. Such a maneuver was not part of the servitor's programming, nor was the hard, sharp smile it wore as the thing closed the chute and turned to report to the docking bay for maintenance, or more likely, to wait until someone noticed it required maintenance. A route picked itself out in the servitor's internal display module. 3 steps into the hallway. Turn south. Follow the corridor for 36 rooms. If construction parameters allow, take the stairs down in order to keep elevators free of unnecessary traffic. If construction parameters do not allow safe passage, reroute to the freight elevator in the southwest wing. The servitor followed the path laid out for it, moving with the stuttering grace of an old clockwork ballerina.
Poor Hammer, thank you so much for the raid on Twitch. Welcome in, raiders. My name is Aurelia. I am a Warhammer VTuber, and we are currently watching the most recent episode of Gav and Bob. We are almost done with it. It's so good. What were you guys doing today? What were you guys working on? Thank you for the raid. And if you guys need to eat, sleep, do anything, feel free to go and do that. We're just hanging out, enjoying a very lovely story here. I highly recommend Gav and Bob by Vox in the Void. They are excellent at what they do. So, doing Hyrule. Oh, Hyrule. I was like, Hyrule. I was like, okay, well, that's Legend of Zelda Hytale. I've not played Hytale. Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. Oh, that looks cute. Oh, okay. That looks like fun. Were you just doing solo stuff, or were you playing with friends? That looks really cool. It looks like, everyone's gonna say it's like fantasy Minecraft, and I am all for that. I've gotten some mods and stuff for Minecraft to play like fantasy games, and they're really fun. It's just been such a long time since I've played. Streaming is my hobby now. Minecraft, not so much. Is Minecraft made by Minecraft modders? Okay, well then that tracks. Oh, and Dino Fan, thank you for gifting a sub to Poor Hammer. It's a new Minecraft-like game. When did it come out? Development began in 2015. Oh Oh shoot, it like just came out. Early access was like a week ago. Okay, well, I'm going to have to look at that. Because that looks like fun. I'll have to get some of my friends to see if we can play it. Yeah, early access. I just saw it when I was looking it up. Okay. I need to go play that. That looks like fun. And I can design my own skin to look like my model. Which would be super cute. Yeah, it does look fun. Well, okay, I'm writing this down. I'll have to do it after my new model debut, which will be awesome, but I don't have time to play now. When it's out of early access and it's more available, I'll see if I can get people to play. Came out a few days ago, but it was in development. It's in development for years. Yeah, it looks like it started in 2015. That's a long time. I wonder how long it'll take for a 40K 40K mod for that. Ooh. Man, as long as there's like a Sanguinius in there, I'd do it. I mean, custom skins are a tiny bit more complicated than for Minecraft, but still doable. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to learn. You have to teach me when I do have the opportunity. But thank you guys. Thank you so much, Poor Hammer, for the raid. I really appreciate it. Please take care of yourself. Sleep, eat, do what you gotta do. We've just been chatting about Warhammer reveals, and we're finishing this Gav and Bob episode. Have you seen it? The new episode and/or Gav and Bob. I feel like most people have. So, look, if I had a toggle for this model where I could like twirl my hair around my finger, I'd do it. But it's a little bit complicated. But I would, because every time I think of Sanguinius, I'm like, anyways. Have you seen the process for making a full custom skin mod takes more than 2 hours for Hytale or for regular Minecraft? Because I was starting on my Minecraft skin and then I never finished it, but I was just taking references from skins that were already made. It's kind of hard to do armor. Never forget your heart rate spikes like 20 beats when someone mentions him. Yeah, that did happen. And I'm not ashamed. I like Sanguinius. I love Sanguinius. He's pretty great. Love him. Anyways, back to Gav and Bob.
Arena that had seen better days. It reached the stairway in question and found that it was currently roped off. It paused and shifted, engaging the secondary pathfinding as it sought the shortest route to the freight elevator. When the servitor reached the branching hallway that led to the elevator, it saw something. A trail of strange colors that lingered in the air like an oil-stained rainbow.
Ooh.
It raised its head, pausing the directive to return to the maintenance bay. It watched as the colors faded from view, a trail of them disappearing into a room at the end of the hallway. It had no record of this phenomenon. It was not part of the servitor's programming to investigate such things. Despite that, though, it kept walking, following where the trail had been and approaching the door at the end of the hall.
She has some of her sentience, which makes me sad.
And nothing but darkness loomed within. The servitor lingered a moment longer, balanced on the threshold. Then, despite all the alarm bells and all the program's demands pulling at its body and brain, it stepped into the darkness. It took a second step, then a third. A fourth step brought it to the opposite wall. It turned its head to the left, then the right, but saw nothing. When the servitor reversed its steps, though, a figure stood where there had been none before. It was tall and lean, a cloak covering its form, and a hood drawn up over its head. The servitor's ocular implants ran a scan over it, but it matched no known personnel or patients. So the servitor did what it always did when presented with someone it did not recognize. It straightened, pushed back its shoulders and raised its head. It smiled, pulling back ragged lips to expose its stained teeth and darkening gums.
Hello, sir.
The servitor said in a ragged, grinding voice.
How may I assist you today?
A small light bloomed from the figure. The glow seemed to come from one hand as the other drew out an oversized envelope. The light illuminated beneath the cowl, revealing a stiff white mask. The mouth was drawn up into an oversized, exaggerated
I wonder if he's going to give her a little bit
and the
more of a
eyes were narrowed
sentience.
with merriment. The voice that slid between those laughing lips, though, was soft and oddly formal. He spoke the way one might speak as part of a funeral dirge.
I come in search of the one named Tala, the sister of battle who once stood before a servant of she who thirsts and fought it with little more than courage and conviction.
The figure said. With a flourish, a small blade appeared in his hand, and he slit the envelope open.
I come to deliver the greetings and well wishes of Gav Smith, a name that is well known to you.
The servitor's smile faltered. It had heard the name Tala before. Glitches and errors began running through its subroutines as it sought some kind of polite response. The person had not asked a question, but made a statement, and statements required no answer. Then it said that other name. The clouded eyes widened, and the servitor drew another breath to speak. Its smile, which had been faltering, returned.
Gav Smith was once a patient here,
The servitor said.
but no longer. We are pleased he is well.
The figure slid long, gloved fingers into the envelope and withdrew a card. In the pale light, it shone a deep red. There were small gold bells drawn on it. They were bold, round, and formed with several layers of wax. He flipped the card open in one hand and intoned the words written inside.
Tala, Mary Sanguinala. I know I haven't written you before, and I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
Gwen's
Gav.
been helping me, though. I can't tell you what I've been doing or where I've been, but I'm doing the Emperor's work. I finally got used to my new arm, and so far I've managed to keep all the other parts of me.
Oh.
I hope they fixed your eyes, and that you don't have any trouble reading this. Wanted you to know I never forgot you.
Oh.
Much love. Gav.
The figure closed the card and carefully slid it back inside the envelope. The servitor stood there, still as a statue. A whirring noise came from
breaks
deep
my
in its
heart.
body cavity. Its mouth began to twitch, and the muscles of the face convulsed. A tear ran from one eye, salt water mixed with a bright sheen of oil. The figure closed its hand and the light went out.
Gav.
The servitor stuttered.
I.
Your Imperium has shamed you.
The figure said. It stepped closer to the servitor. The servitor's eyes blinked furiously, tears running down its face as something inside of it clawed its way back from the blackness.
Oh.
Something that had been smothered so thoroughly and for so long that the tech adepts and labor masters were all certain she drowned. The servitor's uninjured hand groped in the darkness, and the solitaire slid his fingers in between hers.
You were brave, and you fought against a thing that we unleashed onto this galaxy. You stood where others fell, and this is how they chose to repay you. You deserve better than this.
There was a flash in the darkness.
Interesting.
The servitor's mouth went slack. Blood burbled over the ravaged lips and ran from the rent in her throat. The internal warning bell sounded louder, but there was nothing the implanted cybernetics could do. Tala's new form had not been built for battle and armored with fail-safes. No, she had been imprisoned in her own body and left to do empty, repetitive menial tasks. And now, all the mechanisms that kept her bound within herself could do was seize up as her blood stopped pumping, and the oil that lubricated the necessary components ran into a puddle on the floor. Even as she went limp, and her final breath rattled in her ruined throat, the solitaire did not let her go. He held her and sang to her a song few had ever heard. It was the song of what his people had done so long ago, and how her deeds had helped push back that tide of darkness,
Wow.
even a little. When she was well and truly gone, he laid her on the bed and crossed her arms over Gav's card.
Flee this prison now,
He said to her, just as stumping, shuffling steps came from out in the hallway.
And may you find what you were denied among the Sea of Souls.
Wow. I was already like, wow, like he's holding her hand, like touching touching a human is crazy. And then, wow. R.I.P. It was very cool of him. Man. Why do they gotta do this to us, man? Why? This isn't Hell's Reach. I'm not gonna be bawling my eyes out, but man, they really do be doing this thing to us. I'm not crying, y'all aren't. Need a second. I'm just, man, I wasn't expecting that. They put them all in the right order for this story. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. We'll switch screens now. Yeah. Wow, that was incredibly touching. What the heck? I was like, oh man, I thought he was gonna like give her a little bit more like sentience and stuff. Like I thought like he would be like, here, let me give you a little hand. But no, but it was needed. She was suffering, basically. I mean, yeah, essentially she was suffering. Man. Yeah, no, he did for a second, but like it wasn't like, you know, where she was like completely crushed by the whole thing. No, I thought it was gonna be something that would like override her servitor-ness. You know, that word I just made up. Man. Some Eldar can be nice, I guess. Wow. I feel like he's learned a bit about humanity in this little mission where he's like, yeah, you humans kind of suck. You do war and things. And then he's like, well, maybe you guys aren't so bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm being hopeful. Maybe I'm just being hopeful. What are you talking about, boss? You're super nice. Listen here, buddy. Listen here, buddy. I have abhuman ears. I'm not an Eldar. Apparently being gone, being on a little hiatus has caused you all to forget. Yeah, and he freed her soul. Honestly, that he really did a solid to Gav. He's like, yeah, here's actually a little Christmas, like, not, sorry, Christmas, what's Christmas? Sanguinala gift on top of everything. Like, on top of delivering the cards, he gave all of them a Sanguinala gift. Saved their lives. Is going to tell Gav that he has a baby. Oh my gosh, that, I think it's a boy. I think it's a boy. I think the baby is a boy. I'm guessing it now. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I feel like it's too easy to be like, oh, it's a boy and they're gonna name it Bob. I don't know if they'll do that. Yeah, see, that seems like too tongue-in-cheek. Like, I feel like it's gonna be something else. So, and then he, wow. That knife here, he done did good. Bobette, if it's a girl, no, I really, no. Considering Eldar see humans as mostly vile, unevolved brutes, they see us the same way we see orcs. Holding her hand while she passes an enormous gesture of compassion. Yes. Yes, like, even just touching her to begin with is like, whoa. Huge deal. Huge deal. So, that was not lost to me. I was like, dang, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And he's really having a lot of compassion. Well, and the fact that I mean, think about it. He also, like, Faith. He also, like, touched Faith as well. Like, he hesitated. But he, like, also, like, touched her hand. Yeah, he's delivering presents too. Boba, if it's a girl. Man, Boba sounds kind of good. Boba sounds really good. So that was a story of what Aurelia was doing during Sanguinal. That's okay. No, that's not what I was doing. No, and also that was a dude. That was a guy. And an Eldar. So you're getting it wrong. You're getting it all mixed up. Getting it all mixed up. How dare you? My mods, they're already coming after me. I'm back for some streams, and they're all like, "Oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna mess with her." So frustrating. Oh well. I guess I'll have to keep them. I guess I'll keep the mods. I guess. Innocence of being an Eldar proves nothing. What do you mean? What do you mean? I feel like Harry would be a good name if Bob, not Bob, Gav had a boy. I think Harry would be good. I agree. Okay. So, in case for those of you who didn't know, I will be releasing more information about this soon, but new model debut is happening on February 3rd. Guys, I'm telling you 100% this new model is going to blow this one out of the water. It just is. I'm letting you guys know it's going to be a huge game changer. I will be releasing more information as things get closer. There's lots of things planned. I'm super excited. I've been working really hard towards this, which is partially why I've been on this little hiatus. Huge. Yes, I'm gonna be Titan sized. So that's coming up soon. I will be dropping all that stuff in the Discord. I have got to do more prep for that. I'm thinking, I have to decide when, but I think I can do Hunter the Parenting this weekend. The last Hunter the Parenting episode, I think we can make happen this weekend at some point. So I'll let you guys know because everyone wants me to watch it. I'm really looking forward to it. And actually, I was thinking about it because they have burgers. I'm like, man, I kind of want a burger. I might go do that thing. But thank you all. Range refresh? Maybe. I'm so glad I did not spend months making fan art of the old model. All jokes aside, very excited to see the new one. No, okay. I still appreciate the art, even if it's not like the current model. I still love seeing the art. So I appreciate all of your hard work. Burger cooking stream? I have to like get my grill because I am not doing like a burger on a skillet. I've done too many of those and I finally got a grill and I'm never going back. My dad taught me how to grill and I like working the grill. All fan art is valid. I'll say for work fan art. How about that? Say for work fan art is valid. Anything else? Maybe not. See, someone else said that. I was like, no. Thank you. Man, I saved it. Anyways, I think we'll do a raid tonight because I've got to go. I'm getting hungry. But I think we'll raid into Zoran. We're gonna plan some stuff here too very soon. But I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. I know this was last minute. Please, all the new stuff is gonna be in the Discord. There's lots of very fun and exciting surprises. I really cannot wait to show you guys everything that I've planned. I've been working really hard on it, and I hope I see you all there. So, it's been a while, so I hope your guys' New Year's resolution is to not skip leg day, because that's very important. Don't skip leg day. Hit the gym. Get your protein. Get some sleep. Get creatine from Gamer Supps, because now they sell that. It's good. Their blue flavor is really yummy. I like it a lot. So don't skip leg day, and I will see you later.